multiple Juno and CCMA award winner George Canyon was in Winnipeg last year when the June floodwaters rose, but he hopped on a plane as soon as he could make it back to his adopted hometown of High River. At the time, he told BT he was heartbroken and determined to help in any way he could. Well, help he did, and for his efforts, George was recognized earlier this year with a Hero of the Flood Award from the province of Alberta. This morning, we are very happy to have George Canyon join us again, this time via Skype from Windsor, Ontario. Good morning, George.
Yeah. Good morning. How are you?
Very well. Very different story this year than it was last year. I want to talk about your award, first of all. I'm sure you're very humble and you don't want to take a whole lot of credit, but what does it ultimately mean to you?
Well, I think just, yeah, and you know me. I don't talk about awards and stuff like that. I think inevitably I just share that with any and everyone that was involved, those that were volunteering and those that were going through it.
I know you love High River. I know you love this province, your adopted province.
Yeah.
But what did this experience teach you about the residents of High River?
You know, it really just kind of solidified my belief that Canada is the strongest and the best country in the world. You know, I've been blessed to go all around the world and to a lot of different countries, and Canada's the greatest. I mean, watching the people come together, giving of themselves like that, like when you truly give of yourself, you can see it and you can recognize it. And what I saw last year was, well, I tell you what, if you weren't a proud Canadian up to that point, after that, you were definitely a proud Canadian.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. A lot to be proud of, and a transformative experience for many people in this province.
Yeah.
How did it change you?
Well, I seeing that, wanted to, of course, as a lot of people know, I wanted to serve my friends and neighbors in a bigger way, and that's sort of why I threw my hat into the political ring there for a brief moment. Have since, of course, taken my hat out, but I just really, it just really gave me, I guess, a better look on being more open and being more giving of myself. As these strangers were to our neighbors and to our friends. You know, we don't know. A lot of people, of course, you have your own little bubble that you live in, and you have your friends and your circle of friends and family. And it kind of taught me that we need to really pay attention and go outside that bubble and reach out to people more. And when you do that, it's amazing the relationships that get established.
Now today, as we mark the one-year anniversary, we talk about the heroism and the resiliency, but it's important to note that there are people still hurting, particularly in High River.
Yeah, and you know, when I'm out doing shows across the country, as I am right now, I talk to that effect that just because you're not seeing it in the media doesn't mean that people's hearts aren't still bleeding, that people are still not back in their homes, or that their homes are still trying to be rebuilt and replaced. And you know, and I hear from friends that are in High River that they still haven't got to go back into their house, and you see that pain in their face, and they feel like they're kind of being deserted, if you will, to a certain degree by the rest of the country and the government. And it's heartbreaking to hear that, so we still need to come together and help where we can. Well,
George, thank you for all that you do, and thank you so much for joining us this morning, and I guess we'll see you at the Calgary Stampede.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm on the road for about 3 weeks, and then I'm back, so thanks so much.
Okay, thank you, George. Nice
George,
guy.
nice
Man,
guy.
it's really also really nice to hear him not sad and devastated. When we talked to him a year ago, I mean, how hard it must have been for him to not be home as this was happening and then return home to that scene in High River.
Well,
so.
I remember him saying exactly just how frustrated he was, because he said he wanted to get his hands muddy. He wants to have that muck on him, right, to help out where he could.
Well, he did.
Good guy.
Recipient of a Hero of the Flood Award.
Yeah.